How's it going, everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula, and welcome to another Pokemon Go deep dive video. Today we are going to take a close look at the newest Mega Evolution, Mega Alakazam. This Psychic type Mega is an absolute monster for raid battles and will dominate the Master League when it is eventually eligible. I'm going to be telling you why in this video, so let's roll the intro and get right into it. When it comes to Mega Evolutions, we've had some big standouts get released over the years. The utility and offensive firepower that these powerful Pokemon bring to raids cannot be understated. However, I can't honestly think of a single Mega Evolution, aside from maybe Mega Latios, that can be used as a generalist for just raw neutral damage. Most Mega Evolutions are specifically used for type advantages as they boost up the attack damage of specific types. Well, that may not be the case for Mega Alakazam. Not only is it the absolute best Mega Evolution for boosting Psychic types, but it has enough damage where it can be one of the best neutral damage raid attackers in the game. In case you were not aware, Mega Alakazam has the highest attack stat among all Pokemon in the game right now, aside from attack form Deoxys. Of course, it may not hold this title for long, but it's still an absolute offensive powerhouse and will likely be the best raid damage Mega Evolution for a long time. It is, of course, one of the glassiest of glass cannons, but its potential damage output cannot be ignored, especially with Psychic type moves. Mega Alakazam has a base attack stat of 367, a base defense stat of 207, and a base stamina stat of 146. It is a pure Psychic type, meaning it is weak against Dark type, Bug type, and Ghost type attacks, while also resisting Fighting type and Psychic type attacks. Mega Alakazam has a plethora of different moves. It can come with the fast attack Psycho Cut, Confusion, and Counter, which you can get through an elite fast TM, and the charge attacks Future Sight, Focus Blast, Shadow Ball, Fire Punch, Psychic, and Dazzling Gleam. The latter two you can only get with an elite charge TM. Now, out of these moves, you will want to go with Confusion as the fast attack and Psychic and Shadow Ball for its charge attacks. This is of course if you want to use it for raids. In terms of PvP, the setup will be quite similar, although you might be better off using Focus Blast instead of Psychic and Psycho Cut instead of Confusion. That is going to be situational, however, on the current Master League meta. Something you probably realized by now is that Mega Alakazam seems to represent another very powerful Psychic type Pokemon that most players will be familiar with, and that is, of course, Mewtwo. As a matter of fact, Mega Alakazam could be a definitive replacement to Mewtwo as a lead Pokemon for your raids. Let's take a comparison between these two. You can see that Mewtwo is pretty close to Mega Alakazam in terms of both defense and stamina. While Mega Alakazam has higher defense, Mewtwo makes up for it with higher stamina. But if we look at the attack stat of these two, Mega Alakazam has an incredibly higher attack stat. On top of that, their moveset is also fairly similar. Thus, both of these Pokemon pretty much bring the same advantages to the table when it comes to raids. However, because Mega Alakazam has that much higher attack stat, it is definitely going to edge it out. Things only get a little tricky when it comes to Shadow Mewtwo, especially one with high attack IVs and the move Psystrike. Since Psystrike deals a bit more DPS than Psychic, it has the potential to edge out Mega Alakazam in terms of raw damage, and in most cases, might be much better. I would say it is somewhat situational what you end up going with. If you have yourself a really good Shadow Mewtwo with Psystrike, then you will definitely want to go that route, but in most cases, it wouldn't hurt to bring both to raids anyway. If the raid boss is weak against Psychic types, you will most definitely want to be sure to bring Mega Alakazam alongside your Mewtwo's. Not only will they deal an insane amount of Psychic type damage, but the Mega Evolution bonus will boost all other Psychic type Pokemon in the raid party as well. So next, let's talk about PvP, because I personally think Mega Alakazam should not be ignored when it comes to the Master League. While there are plenty of Mega Evolutions as well as non-Mega Pokemon that are going to counter Mega Alakazam, I still think this Pokemon could be a top tier, especially if you cover your bases with some really strong backups. I would give Mega Alakazam Counter or Psycho Cut as its fast attack, and Focus Blast and Shadow Ball as its charge attacks. This would give you a huge advantage over some of the top meta Pokemon like Dialga and Giratina. Since Mega Alakazam has insane attack power, you could knock out plenty of Pokemon no problem. But aside from PvP, I think Mega Alakazam truly shines in raids. This Pokemon is an improved version of Mewtwo and is going to give you plenty of other utilities that Mewtwo can't bring. Since Psychic type Mega Evolutions are far and few between, it's going to be extremely beneficial for you to have as much Mega Energy of this Pokemon as you can possibly get. The only caveat with this Mega Evolution is that it is not future-proof. While it might be good to have for the time being, there will come a day where Mega Mewtwo will arrive in Pokémon Go, and it will most certainly push Mega Alakazam out of the limelight. At that point, it will essentially become a budget Mega Evolution, as I'm sure it will be extremely difficult getting Mega Energy for Mewtwo, much like it was for Mega Latios and Latias. But for the time being, Mega Alakazam is going to be king. You will definitely want to get as much Mega Energy for it as you can, because it will be a top Mega Pokemon for the next several months. It's actually quite rare that we've seen a non-legendary Mega Evolution of this caliber. It actually surprises me that Mega Alakazam doesn't have as much hype as it should have. Considering that most Mega Evolutions are not as strong as this Pokemon, including Mega Latios and Mega Latias, you would think that more players would be focused on getting as much Mega Energy for this Pokemon as possible. Who knows, maybe after more people see this video, the hype around this Mega Evolution will increase. It's not going to be out in Mega Raids for much longer, so hopefully players will catch on. Anyway, that's going to be it for this deep dive video, but I would love to know your thoughts. Are you actively rating Mega Alakazam for its Mega Energy? What do you think the impact of this Mega Evolution will have on the game? Let me know below, and let's have a great discussion. And if you end up enjoying this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in any way, big or small, then be sure to check out the links in the description below. For all of my patrons, they get a permanent spot on my in-games friends list. So if you want to interact with me in some way, like with remote raids, then do consider becoming a patron on my Patreon. But yeah, that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.